What is going to be the outcome of this result? And let's go to my colleague Duduzile Ramela, who is in Zimbabwe at the moment as we speak. And Dudu, what is the situation on the ground there? A sense of anticipation, I would imagine, people waiting for that all-important result. And just a few moments ago, I was listening to the chairperson of the ZEC who says that the results will start being announced at 3 p.m. this afternoon. I want you to tell us exactly what that means. Does that mean that they are going to give us the results at one go, or is it going to be sort of a trickle-in type of situation?
A very good morning to you, Xoli. It's quite interesting you mentioned what Ms. Chiguma was saying there. We were listening to her just a few moments ago, warning against actually releasing of the results, saying that is illegal. We have to wait for ZEC to release those results. However, that doesn't stop social media users from actually putting out the results, which is what we've been seeing throughout the morning, Xoli. And it's undeniable that the proliferation of fake news, as it were, has partly been fueled by the rise of social media. Where I am in Bulawayo right now, I'm in an election situation room. Let me just give you an idea of what that is and what we're talking about. We have about 40 NGOs around the country, Xoli, who are stationed in different parts. And here in Bulawayo, we have a couple of people who are monitoring events on social media. How it works is that they have 6,000 accredited observers on the ground who are monitoring events before, during, and after this election. Social media being a very, very important part here. Let me answer or attempt to answer your question now and introduce Sean Ndlovu, who is a social media expert here in the Situation Room. Thank you very much for your time. Sean, as we just heard there from Ms. Chiguma, warning against actually publishing those results, but that hasn't stopped people on social media from taking pictures and actually putting them and sharing them.
Yes, that hasn't stopped people doing that. And what we're doing here at the Situation Room is basically we're trying to fact check, debunk some of the stuff that's been going on social media that has been happening before the day of the election, and now when results are coming in. You have noticed that people have been spreading like rumors that the lines are going slow or there's a long line, this and that, and we've managed to debunk such claims and verify them as false or sometimes as true, but at most people have been spreading fake news during this election. And
in terms of that fake news, I beg your pardon, let's expand on it. What are some of the stories that you've seen?
Some of the stories that we've seen and that we've managed to debunk here in conjunction with our colleagues in Harare called Zimbabwe. We've managed to debunk a story whereby it was alleged by one person on social media, a social influencer, that there was a polling station in Pardon Hestia. We had to send a team on the ground to verify if such a station was there, and we found that it wasn't there on the ZEC polling station roll, and there was no polling station at the place that purported to be. So at the end of the day, we verified, we sent it back, and we tagged him in the tweet and sent it back on social media to prove no, there's no station as you claimed here. So some of the things, that's what we've been debunking. And also we've been debunking, like I say, there's a picture, like maybe if you can see there, they were saying this was a line, the people are going to vote on this election yesterday, but this picture was from the 2018 election. So we did manage to find this was from another website that was published and then it was reposted as a new claim. That's what was happening on the ground yesterday, which again was fake news.
Right. Not only do you have problems with ordinary people who are just printing fake news on social media or tweeting recklessly, we also saw this morning some political figures tweeting and declaring victory. How much more difficult does that make your job?
That makes it a bit of a task, because the minute like a political figure tweets or says that they are winning or they have got the results, it becomes hard to debunk it. Even if you try and debunk it, people start labeling you as if you are belonging to the other party and that you are also part of the team that's spreading fake news. So if a trusted or a verified individual or a political figure posts such things, it becomes very hard and it becomes a nightmare, and it ends up causing alarm and despondency, as like what the commissioner was saying, that people should wait for the official results, and then if they've got any claims, they follow the right channels.
And as much as people should wait, I'd like to introduce into the conversation Mike, who's also here at the Situation Room, Xoli. In as much as people want to wait, they're also very anxious. This is a very, very important moment for the country. But just going back to what Ms. Chiguma said in terms of the legalities around publishing results, just expand on that for us.
Thanks. Good morning, viewers. It's a very big challenge. I think there is no law that prohibits people from posting whatever they see in polling stations, since it public knowledge to be pasted outside in polling stations, so people actually are taking photos and pushing that on Twitter, Facebook. So the law does not actually prohibit people from doing that, except based on what the secretary person was saying, if then you call perhaps a press conference and then you announce the results. Yeah.
In terms of the challenges that you guys have faced here in getting all these results from all those more than 10,000 polling stations, talk to us about that.
We are not basically focusing on results per se, but as the ESR, we are focusing on tracking instances around the election process. So our focus was on pre-election instances all over the region of southern part of Zimbabwe. So we've been trying to track instances using our observers we've deployed on the ground, and we have a team of data capturers that actually track the instance. For example, we had reports of campaigns after the closure of campaign 24 hours before poll, and some parties were still campaigning, and some were actually distributing leaflets and circulating messages on Twitter and Facebook. So our data capturers were tracking those instances, then calling those candidates to verify if those things are true. And also we're also focusing on the election day, trying to focus on instances that may affect the smooth flow of the elections. For example, we have cases that we've recorded in Matabeleland South where there was confusion around polling stations. For example, we have a case that we recorded in Kafusi, a primary. So I was supposed to be the polling station, but then...
I'm so sorry to catch you off there, but we do have some breaking news in studio. We'll definitely pick up this conversation a little bit later on. Thank you very much for that, Mike. Xoli, as you've just heard, social media as much of a problem in terms of people fueling the fire with fake news. It's back to you.